A candle is a candle. They are all made the same way. Everyone that makes candles buys from the same companies for their supplies. Some make them better than others, but in the end, there's no difference unless your candle does gymnastics or performs a miracle. There's no reason to have to go out of your way to get people to buy your candles. You buy it if you like it. It makes your house smell good for a moment, and that's it. This is not brain surgery. This is not rocket science. Well, thank you for your comment. I'm so excited to respond in today's video because honestly, most of this I actually kind of agree with, but a lot of it I don't. And I think there's an underlying misconception and misunderstanding about business in this whole comment. So let's go ahead and break it down. A candle is a candle. They are all made the same way. This is pretty true. Honestly, I can't disagree with this. Most candles out there, if we're talking about container candles, are made in a very similar way. We're all melting down wax. We're all heating it to a certain temperature, adding in fragrance of some kind, whether that's synthetic fragrance oil or essential oils. We're mixing it up. We're pouring it into a container with wicks, wooden wicks, cotton wicks, no wicks if it's a wickless candle. But overall, it's all made the same way. So I can't disagree with this line here. Everyone that makes candles buys from the same companies for their supplies. This is also pretty true, honestly. I mean, I don't know, there may be some hidden companies that we don't know of. I know there's bigger fragrance houses and things like that. But for the most part, we all know of the same fragrance companies. We all know of the same candle manufacturers in terms of waxes, jars, wicks. Like there are exceptions in terms of, more specialty ones or from different countries and things like that. But if you live in the US, for the most part, we know the top candle suppliers. So again, nothing I'm disagreeing with at this point. Some make them better than others, but in the end, there's no difference unless your candle does gymnastics or performs a miracle. So this is where I'm starting to disagree because this is almost like saying every shirt sold is the exact same. And if we're looking at it from a very basic primal function of needing to put clothing on your skin, then yes, I guess you can kind of say that every shirt is the same. So by that logic, I guess you could say that candles are just performing the basic function of providing light in the dark. But we both know that candles and shirts have evolved since then. We've evolved beyond just the primal need for these things. Again, there's so many different kinds of shirts, materials, styles, colors, and the same thing with candles. And you can target different demographics based on the style, the branding. There's so many different things that you can do to stand out and be unique. And that's why I always compare shirts and candles together, because shirts, people that have clothing businesses that are selling clothing, shirts, there's a lot of t-shirt companies out there, and yet so many of them are able to be successful because they have their own specific target demographic. And that's what I always recommend for candle businesses as well, because you're able to tailor your product to your specific demographic, and that is your differentiator. Yes, all candles can be made very similar, but it's not just about providing light in the dark. And both shirts and candles, they don't have to perform miracles or do gymnastics or have some like crazy life-changing impact in somebody's life to have an impact of some kind. There are so many things in your day-to-day life. I'm actually grabbing this. I wasn't thinking about grabbing this, but this is a water bottle. I love this water bottle. And you would think, okay, it's just a water bottle. But I love how easy it is for me to drink out of. I love the straw. I love the design. I love that I'm able to just fill it up and I don't have to keep buying water bottles, plastic water bottles. And it's such a small detail and you wouldn't think that it would have such an impact in my life, but I carry it around with me as much as I carry around my phone with me. So it's just one of those things that you may not think that a shirt or a candle would impact somebody's life like that, but if you are creating a candle that is going to bring an ambiance, it's going to bring people closer together, it's going to have memories that they're forming around that scent, it's going to help somebody relax at the end of a day. You have to think about what is the benefit? How am I going to improve somebody's life even just a little bit. It may not be life-changing or life-saving, but it is an impact of some kind, and that is what you need to be focusing on in order to make a difference and in order to differentiate your products from others. So while I'm looking back at this one, because I totally forgot which one this is, so some make them better than others, but in the end, there's no difference. I really think there is a difference. I think that there's a difference so much, and that's why there's so many different brands out there for candles, for shirts, for coffee, for all these things where if you're just looking at what the product is, then everybody would just buy one product and they wouldn't even think about buying another brand. It's because of how that brand makes them feel. It's the experience that they get from that brand that makes them stand out. So yes, I very much disagree with this part of the comment. I don't mean to interrupt. I know the sun has been going in and out like crazy throughout this whole video, but tomorrow I'm hosting my live online class on how to build a candle website that people actually want to buy from. Because unlike what this person said in the comment, you do want to focus on the things that you can to encourage and help turn more visitors into customers. And there are absolutely things you can do on your website to help make that happen. So go to the pinned comment down below, sign up for my online class, and I will see you in class tomorrow at 4 p.m. There's no reason to go out of your way to get people to buy your candles. You like it, you buy it. It makes your house smell good for a moment, and that's it. This is the biggest part I disagree with. I definitely disagreed with that last point, but I definitely disagree with this one because I think, again, this is just looking at it from a very like non-business perspective. Because what's the point of starting a business if all you're gonna do is be like, people like it, they'll buy it. Like there's no sense in me like trying to get sales. That's literally like, that is your only job as a business owner. If we break it down, if we're really break it down, obviously I know we all do different things within the business. There's a lot that goes into it. But overall, a business is something where you are creating something and taking a sale. You're selling something. That's the goal. You make something, you're buying something to resell, you exchange it for money and somebody else gets the product. That's business. That's how we are. That's the incentive, basically, is what we're trying to do. We're trying to make money off of the candles that we are making. And this, again, is coming from a very non-business point of view. I can tell that this is not from a business perspective at all. This is just maybe from somebody who is looking at it like, why would you even go out of your way to try to get more sales? Why are you trying to make people want to buy your candles? And that's interesting, right? Because we're not trying to trick people or make them buy from us. That's like the wrong way to think about it, the wrong wording. It's more of showing what the experience will be like if they were to buy from you, if they were to have that candle. It's more of just showing and selling without being like, you have to buy this, like you need to buy this from me because this is a candle. Like it's not at all like that. There's so much that goes into it, and that's why building a brand is so important and so complex for a lot of people, because you're trying to create an experience and emotional reaction in people, even at a subconscious level, that's going to direct them into the direction of wanting your product. And sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's just trying to connect your product with the right customer, being like, you are somebody who's really going to like this product because XYZ. And this is kind of like telling anybody that they shouldn't go out of their way to make a sale or get a customer. So that's like telling a plumber that you shouldn't go out of your way to fix somebody's garbage disposal. Like that's the whole point. That's the job. Like that is what people are hiring them for. That's how you're going to get your money, is by actively searching for clients, searching for customers. That's how businesses work. So that's how people grow. You know, I'm just kind of reacting to this like that's kind of the whole point of business. And if it was just as simple as the whole reason why they're buying your candle is it makes their house smell good for a moment and that's it. For some people, they may look at a candle that way. For other people, it means something different to them. And that's where you are creating your marketing and your branding around. That's why it's so important to think of emotions first when you're creating your marketing and branding, because it makes all the difference. It's that differentiator. It's what's making you different from other candle businesses out there. Because again, if people were just buying solely on the fact that it was the product and not the brand, then every brand out there selling the same product would have the same sales, because they'd be like, oh, well, there's no difference on me buying from this one or this one or this one. Like, there's a reason why there's brands out there that are doing so much light years above other brands, is because they focus on the emotional connection. They know their target demographic, and they know how to position themselves in a way that's going to make that customer or incentivize that customer to choose them over somebody else. Because remember, we're humans. We don't buy based on, okay, it's just this thing and that's all I'm buying it for. There's a reason. You've got to think about the reason on why somebody's purchasing that item. So that's where you build that trust, you build that emotional connection, you build the identity, you build what it is that the customer is buying from you. And that matters more than the product itself, honestly. This is not brain surgery. This is not rocket science. That's true. I mean, it's not. Like, candle making and selling the candles, it's not brain surgery or rocket science. But it doesn't mean that it's not hard. Just because it's not something so complex and challenging and difficult and super, super hard, it doesn't mean that it's not hard. So it doesn't mean that it doesn't require challenges and obstacles and complex thinking and planning and building and creating. There's so much that goes into it. And just because it's not like the craziest, most complex thing, it doesn't mean that there's not complexity to it or things that are challenging and difficult when you are making candles and trying to sell them. I know. I've been doing it for the last 6 years. It can be challenging. It can be hard. One of the hardest things I've ever done, nowhere near as hard as raising a child. Oh my gosh. I thought building my business, I'm like, this is like, and I'm glad I did that first, honestly. I think it actually created and helped build me up to be a better mom and be able to handle more things and handle more stress and overcome things more, because I kind of had my practice with my business. And business, they're both hard in different ways, obviously. But yeah, it's not the hardest thing ever. But it doesn't mean that it's not challenging. And it goes to show on why some people are successful and some people are not. Some people have the mindset like this, to where it's just a candle. What's the big deal? It's not that hard. Why are you trying to get sales? If people like it, they'll buy it. Versus the people that are really trying to build a brand, focus on their target customer, focus on the things that they need to be doing to basically connect their product with their ideal customer and make a change in their life in some way, even if it's just a really small change. But with that, I think I'm going to end today's video here. I actually have been really liking responding to these comments on my video, because again, I don't mind anything like this. I love when people share their opinion, because it allows me to have a different way of thinking, a different mindset. I'm able to break it down and really think, okay, there are some things that I agree with on this comment, but not everything. And again, I really think this comment is very misguided and very non-business forward thinking when it comes to actually creating candles and building up a candle business. So I want to hear your thoughts. Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one.